let me ask you this question. You would not expect to show up, let's say, to a sandwich shop that you took as a job, and that you could just kind of stand there and that the customers would magically get their sandwiches made. And on top of it, the customers would be happy. And on top of that, you would end up getting paid by the store owner for doing absolutely nothing other than observing and wishing and visioning these glorious sandwiches being made and embodying and aligning with the feeling of the customers being so thrilled with their juicy, decadent sandwiches. It wouldn't work, right? Like you would sound like a lunatic. This is something that I call manifestation entitlement. It is out of control more than ever right now. I don't know how we got here and how we got so sidetracked with the law of attraction, all the principles of manifestation in this way, because this is not part of any of the literature, the original literature. It's like these online people have morphed this manifestation stuff into fantasy marketing so more people buy. And guess what they do? Because they've even tried to make that fast tracked and that easy and quantum leaps, and you can make time disappear. Oh, and you also don't have to do anything at all. Well, yeah, that is entitlement. It doesn't work like that. Why would the universe show up in all in energy to co-create with you when you're sitting back there with your arms folded, just doing alignment work? I might sound really sarcastic to you right now, but like it is funny. Where in the world does this apply to anything, anywhere? We've got to get it together.
If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much-needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. This is part 2 of the mid-year Money Manifestation mini-series. So I'll be taking you through phases 4, 5, and 6 of my 6D manifestation process that I've created, because I have been asked over the years, what is it you do that's different? Like I sense by your teachings, how you explain things, that you have a different way of using these manifestation law of attraction tools. And I do, but I never took the time to sit down and really think about it and plan it out and list it out. And so I finally did. So if you want to listen to part 1, you can go out of order. I know some of you are rebellious. You're not a Virgo like me, where I read books front to back. I know some of you read books back to front. You want to know what happens first, or magazines. I had a friend who's a triple Cancer, and she reads everything back to front. I'm like, this is so bizarre to me. Like, doesn't that ruin it for you? I don't know. Which one are you? Let me know. DM me on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany, or TikTok, same thing, at ProjectME with Tiffany. If you're not over there following me on TikTok, you're really missing out. It's all unique content. It's all focused on money mindset, manifestation, overcoming fear, limiting beliefs. We go deep into all the money attachment woundings and then how to shift it. So part 1, we did desire, descriptive, and depth of emotion. So in part 2 of this mini series today, we are doing decisive action, disrupting scarcity noise, and determination. So this is law of attraction on steroids is basically what my 60 thing is. Before we get into phase 4, you need to do this or you're going to be very upset with yourself. I have a special gift giveaway that when you leave a written review of this podcast on Apple Podcasts, leave your name in the review, or you can leave your Instagram or TikTok handle. That's fine too. Take a screenshot of it and email it to us at support@ProjectMeWithTiffany.com. I will give you my brand new, never released Work Less While Making More workbook for free. This will soon be for sale. So yeah, you can wait until it's for sale and do it that way. Or you can take 30 seconds, give back, show abundance, show gratitude, show support for this show if you love it, and leave that Apple review. I would prefer it if you do an email. I know some of you have DM'd me because I did offer that. And then you're going to get a response asking you to please email it because it's much easier for us to keep track of. And as soon as the giveaway is over, then we will be emailing out the workbooks to those of you who have done it. So I know some of you have been like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Well, the giveaway is not over yet. And my apologies if I wasn't clear on that. So make sure you do that. And if you have anyone who you feel would love the show, please share it. And you can tell them about the giveaway as well. Plus my summer abundance walks guided meditation walking series. That's completely free. And that is here right now. So you can swipe up. Everything I just said is inside the show notes, or you can go to my link in bio on Instagram and the ticker talker. That's a weird thing to say, isn't it? The ticker talker. Okay. Hear me out on this. I look absolutely crazy. That's what I really needed to tell you. I am doing an experiment, if you listen to part 1 of this mini series, where we are resurrecting ProjectME TV, my YouTube channel. And we've been putting guest interviews on there because a lot of people apparently really using YouTube and seeing, right, the people's faces who they love listening to, which I really appreciate. I get it. I like that too. And I have not done it for solo episodes. Like, who really wants to see me? I look nuts when I'm recording. And I'm like, I don't know. Why would you really want that? So we're testing it. So if you want to see like what it looks like behind the scenes recording here, and you want to match a face with a voice, and you think that will also help you further sink in, a lot of people are like writing comments while watching the YouTubes, and that's helping them stay accountable. And it also is helping people process out some of the things that we're talking about in real time. And then people then can go in and read the comments from other people. And it really does help cement this work, because you know you're not going to go and do it on your own, off on your own somewhere. I mean, you might, but most of you will not. You have good intentions and then you don't, which is why you have 572 journals where there's like 2 pages used in them. And then you keep buying them. You know how I know this? Because I'm that person. I have a stack of them sitting next to me. So this has a couple pages done in it. This has, you can tell there's some pages done in it. I mean, they're everywhere, all over the place. All right. Being stuck in indecision is like sitting in a rocking chair, expecting to get somewhere. You're burning energy, you're burning your precious time, and you aren't going anywhere, but you feel like, you're moving, right? It kind of tricks your brain into think you're doing something. And this is why phase 4 is decisive action. Okay. It's true that there are things you can learn through like free resources, right? This is a free resource you're learning right now, and through trial and error. But the cheap route takes much longer. And the one thing we never get more of is time. I always say to people, you can start by listening to my podcast, consuming all my video content to see if you like my teaching style, you appreciate my vibe, it feels good to you, because if it doesn't, none of it fucking matters because it won't sink in. And then I'm like, then you have to move into decisive action. You need to spend money. You need to go deeper in order for you to get the results that you're wanting from the abundance you're trying to call in. And then you use these other free, great resources I have to offer and other people have to offer as like an adjunct, as the sprinkles on top of a sundae. Take it from me. It took me 10 years to finally start ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and business coaching academy. And it turned into a multiple 7-figure business as it is today in 4.5 years. But if I had just gotten an expert and I had hired people to help me right from the start, right from day one, I would have at least double the amount of cash in the bank right now. And I would have had 10 more years to luxuriate. It took me 10 years. Think about it. In 4.5 years, I have, now we're at like 1.5 million a year for this business, like regular, that's a bare minimum. So imagine if I started 4 or 5.5 years prior to that, right? When it was even like less saturated online. I mean, it would be crazy. So my point is, the cost of not doing things is huge. It affects our health. It affects our mood. It affects those around us. It affects our happiness, not to mention the missed incredible experiences and trips that this option level cash would have provided me, that would provide you. And let me guess, you told yourself, at least right before New Year's or on Jan 1, 2023, that this is going to be your year. This is going to be the year you did it. You're finally going to go for it. You're going to put yourself first. You're going to do the damn thing. You're going to do it scared. And you get all hyped up. And now, as I'm recording this, right, it is July 23rd and the year is steamrolling to an end. Are you where you want to be? What came out of your mouth immediately? What came to your head immediately? Because that's the truth. And if the answer is no, it's time to take boss level big action, decisive action. And I know what happens. Like, is the decisive action to join my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership? There's a few new member spots available and they're not always available. So when you go to the page, it'll say full if there aren't any other member spots available. And you get my free content creation course made easy, by the way, which is not available anywhere else when you join as a new member. Maybe your decisive action is to apply to work with me privately because you're starting from scratch and you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't know where to start. You don't know what your niche should be. So instead of sitting there and figuring it out and consuming more free shit, trying to figure it out, maybe you should do something about it, right? Maybe it's that you need to hire a graphics person to help you with graphics because it takes up so much of your time. Maybe you need to hire someone to help you with your nutrition or get you to show up for your workouts at the gym. But then here's what happens. Okay. These are some of the things that happen with decisive action, because you can know what you need to do. In fact, I think a majority of you listening know what you need to do. Some of you are like, Tiffany, I genuinely don't know where to start and what to do. Okay. And I believe you because you believe that. But then you can also, then your next step would be to like join the posse or take an action to figure it out. But you kind of know like at least what direction. You just don't like the answer. You need to leave the person. You need to end the friendship. You need to distance yourself. You need to be posting regularly. You need to start treating your business like a business and not like a jobby. You need to ask for more help around the house in order for you to have more time to focus on your thing. You need to not eat so much sugar. A lot of these things. You just don't. So knowing it, don't trick yourself into thinking that's action. That's not the same as decisive action. Decisive action is I'm doing it and I'm doing this specific thing, not some random thing, right? So here's an example of a random thing. Wow. My Midwest accent came out real strong there. It would be like me saying, I know I need to not consume all this sugar before bed. I know that's terrible. That's not a good idea. It's not making me feel good in the morning. It spikes my blood sugar, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's nice. I know that. And I'm basically giving a general thing. I need to stop doing that. Well, to say you're going to stop having any sugar at nighttime, that's not really sustainable. Here's what a decisive action would be. I am committed for the next month to not have any substantial amount of sugar in the evening. And so I have to consume any sugar I consume has to happen before 7:00 at night. And I'm doing it for the next 30 days. And then we'll regroup from there. That's specific, right? And decisive. But I know what some of you are doing in your brain. You're going, I'm not generating enough money to hire you or join this or get help with this or get someone to help me watch my kids. Okay, well, then we need to find a way. Then maybe your next step is, what can I sell in my house? Do I have stuff I can sell? Do I have clothes I can sell? Is there a service I can offer people? Is there a trade I can do? There's always a way. I used to make $17,000 a year. I somehow found a way to get mani-pedis and to buy suits from Ann Taylor Loft to go on TV with, because they gave you some like ridiculously low clothing allowance, and those clothes weren't going to fly on me. There's some people that can wear like really cheap clothes and still look cute. I'm not that gal. I don't have that body type. Maybe you're like, I know I need to hire a coach. I know I need to do a group program. I've done it before. It didn't really work out. I didn't get much out of it. I didn't get an ROI. Maybe that's what's coming up for you. Well, I can tell you straight up that in business and in life, there's going to be things that don't work out for you. There's going to be people you hire that screw you over. You could even have a business partner that lets you down. You're going to join this thing. You're going to do Facebook ads. You're going to do all these things, and you're going to have a lot of things not work out. You're going to have things be net neutral, but then you're going to also have things that work out. So if you let all the things that didn't work out prevent you from going in the game and taking decisive action, then you're guaranteed to have nothing work out. This is just part of the game, right? Nowhere in any genuine manifestation, law of attraction principles and literature does it say it's always going to be positive, always going to be positive, always going to go your way. Sometimes you need to be in that course. Sometimes you need to have read that book, gone and watched that bad movie, hired a coach that was kind of full of shit, in order for you to learn what not to be, in order for you to see what's out there, in order for you to get better understanding of who you do want to work with. It's no different than dating and having relationships and even having marriages. Because when something is crap, now you know what you absolutely will not settle for and you do not want, but you didn't know that before because you'd never experienced it. Maybe you're saying to yourself, I'm already overwhelmed. This will just add more to my plate. Like, I can't do more. And what we're doing right now is we're going into disrupting the scarcity noise. So I gave you some examples of decisive action. I didn't say this, so I'm regrouping, but then the fifth phase of my 6D process is disrupting scarcity noise. So this is what we're doing right now. I'm giving examples of things that your brain is likely telling you in resistance and pushing back on taking this decisive action, and you spending money and you spending time and you spending energy and you taking a risk because it's scared. And we are rooted in protecting ourselves at all levels. But you have to work with this or you will always stay stuck. You will always play small. And some people stay like that their whole lives. And if they're happy, that's great. And if they're not, that's sad. And I don't want that to be you. So I'm going through some like common things I hear people say. I'm already overwhelmed. I have so much on my plate. The entire point of hiring help, of learning how to do blank, of getting someone to execute Y for you, is to be able to give you your time back, is to be able to give you your energy back, is to give you a clear path to get there. So you'll stop feeling so overwhelmed when you have this clear guidance and focus and support. it shouldn't be where you sign up for something or you do something and all it does is add more to your plate and it doesn't enhance your life. It doesn't grow your business. It doesn't give you more of your time and energy back. The whole point here and why I'm even doing this gift giveaway of my new workbook on working less while making more is because when you stop chasing everything and throwing spaghetti in the wall and see what sticks and just like going all over the place and doing all these tasks, when you pare it down, you get rid of all the stuff that doesn't matter, all the stuff that doesn't really contribute in decisive action to get you to your goal, you end up having clarity and focus and you don't have energy leakage of all this nonsense. You just have a lot of energy leakage because you don't have the clarity and you don't have the focus. And therefore, that should be a very clear, decisive action that you need. Really. So what is something that's coming up for you right now where you're like, okay, this is confirmation, listening to this, watching this, Tiff, I need to do this. And then I want to know, what is the scarcity that comes up? Oh, but I'm already in debt. I don't want to go into more debt. Okay, then what's your plan? And I don't want to see you where you can't put food on your table. But my question to you is like, A, there's no business that I know of that's successful that doesn't always have some debt going on, right? Debt is not a bad thing. Like having a mortgage is debt, right? Leasing a car or even having a car payment, that is debt. So that's not strange to have debt. Like even when I'm working with my medical practitioners or my healers who have different lasers and they have different pieces of equipment in their office that are required, they don't sit there and pay $300,000 for a laser. They are leasing it, much like a car, right? So they have all this debt, but you're managing the debt to income ratio. The income is still much higher and the debt portion is a write-off, right? Like anything I offer is a tax write-off because it's high-level business and marketing coaching, right? So you need to start looking at these excuses your brain comes up with, and we need to provide it some logic. It's just in fear. It's trying to keep you safe. Well, I don't want to spend more. I want to guarantee. Well, there are no guarantees in life. The only thing I can guarantee you is that if you keep doing what you're doing and you don't do something different and you just use avoidance as your solution, you will not grow. You will not get to where you want to get. So that's why that fifth phase is disrupting the scarcity noise, because it's going to come up all the time and we have to disrupt it with logic, with stuff that actually makes sense to your ego and your brain. Because if it doesn't make sense, if it seems like a lie, if it seems too good to be true, it won't work. This is why so many people love this podcast. And thank you so much for supporting the show and it being top 30 worldwide in the entrepreneurship and money category. Unbelievable. And that's a very popular category. I'm just blown away by it still. Okay, let's go into the sixth and final phase, determination. And you might roll your eyes like, well, yeah, no shit. I know I need determination. Remember, this is my unique 6-phase manifestation process. The determination is in your energy and it's in your actions. You need to be committed and so determined to have the thing that you're wanting to call in, not desperate, determined, very different. Determined is an empowering energy, right? Desperate is a low vibe scarcity energy because in desperation, you're scared that if you don't get it, you're not going to be okay. Your life is over. It's going to be terrible. Determination is I'm not in a victim state. I am determined to own a beach house. I am determined to have a top podcast. I am determined to write a best-selling book. I am determined to be financially free from anyone in my life. I'm determined to quit my job and make my own money doing something that I love. And when you are determined, you need to commit to showing up regardless. If I only showed up when I felt like it, I would probably only be showing up 30% of the time. We're human beings. We're naturally wired for the path of least resistance. I didn't want to go. It's Sunday. I'm recording this. I didn't want to go to yoga. I just wanted to sit and watch the waves and drink my coffee and diddle around. I don't even know, move papers around. I don't even know what I do most of the time. But I'm determined, and I have set decisive action for me to prioritize my health and wellness. And because of that, if I want what I say I want, I have to show up and do my part for the universe to co-create with me. Otherwise, it's manifestation entitlement. And how do I feel now that I followed through with my commitment? I was miserable the whole way walking there. I feel at least 50 times better. I feel empowered. And what do you think that feeling and that energy does to further ignite my manifestations? It only gets greater. It only gets bigger. It only makes things happen faster. This is the law of attraction on steroids. But the problem is a lot of you aren't determined. Determined means I'm going to show up in resilience. I'm going to show up regardless. I'm going to show up on my bad days. I'm going to show up when people say no. I'm going to show up when a launch fails. I'm going to show up when no one reads my book. I'm going to show up when I don't feel like anyone's listening to my content. I'm going to show up even if I feel like I keep going more in debt and I'm not making any money yet or the money I want to yet. I'm going to keep showing up even though my clothes don't feel any looser and it's been 3 weeks of me being committed to this. And that's not really fun. I want results. I want them now. I want the prize. But I'm determined and I trust and I know that it's coming as long as I'm determined and I keep showing up. But you don't have the determination. So the issue is if you don't have the determination, you either don't really want what you're saying you want that badly. You might be influenced by society, outside factors, people in your household, your own ego, where you think you want this thing, but that's not really what you want. There's something else that you really want. Or you need a little bit of like tough love that you're getting today. And you are only determined on contingency. I'm only determined as long as things are going my way. That's not determination. That's entitlement. You need to be willing to show up. I don't care what is going on in your house. That doesn't mean in spite of yourself. That doesn't mean to hurt yourself. That doesn't mean to deplete yourself. But you have to have that unwavering determination for what you want to call in, for it to come in and for it to come in faster. And you might not like some of my phases of this 6D, but this is the real stuff. I've got the receipts to prove it. I've helped tens of thousands of people, well over 100,000 people, really fine tune the frequency and shift into powerful, empowering manifesting, not passive manifesting. This is active manifesting. Passive manifesting, what you're really saying is, I'm going to leave it all to chance. And I'm not going to do anything in my part. It's just going to be all to chance. This is why I'm not about the whole lotto thing. Not a fan, not into it. You can have fun and play and experiment with that, but that better not be your plan. Where's the decisive action in that? Where's the determination in that? You might have the desire in there. You might have the descriptive, the descriptive stuff we talk about in phase 2. You might have even the depth of emotion. But where's phases 4, 5, and 6 in that? It's not there. And you can't do some of these and not others and just pick up the ones that feel easier to you and not the rest. A lot of people feel warm and cozy and fun in doing phases 1, 2, and 3 from the part 1 of this series. But part 2 is where most of you fall off the bus. And it's a choice. How about you can get back on that ride at any time? Let's get on that ride. And my Summer Abundance Walks, guided meditation walking series that helps you get back on the ride. My Work Less While Making More printable workbook that will help you get back on the ride, continuing to listen to this podcast and taking in this information versus listening and being drawn to fantasy marketing. You go listen to people telling you, oh, you just need to have like the desire and the da 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 da, and then it comes. You're the same person who just wants to win the lotto. Sure, I would too, but do I really want to leave my life and my wealth and my legacy and the lifestyle I want and the experiences I want and the people I want to help? Do I want to really leave that by chance for a 1 in a gazillion chance of winning the lotto? No, I mean, that can be like gravy on top, but I certainly don't want to leave it to chance. And that's what you're doing. But it's your brain falls for it. I've fallen for this stuff too. My brain's fallen for it because we want the supplement that's going to make you lose weight. We want the 6-pack in 60 days. We want these kinds of things. That's why we get marketed to in this way. Well, your higher self knows that's not what works. And so just lovingly remind yourself, yeah, I know. We wish that it worked like that. We know it doesn't. We can play in that area as a fun experiment, but let's focus on what does work. Let's commit to doing the 60. Take a screenshot, share this on social media, tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany. And then I know that you love this series. If you want me to continue going in depth on this kind of stuff and you found this explanation and everything really helpful, let me know in the review that you leave and take a screenshot, email it to support@projectmewithtiffany.com. And then we will send you my workbook for free, which will soon be available for sale as soon as my gift giveaway is over. And you can swipe up. All of that information is right inside the show notes for you. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.